US talk show host Phil Donahue has died at the age of 88, his family has confirmed to the US media. The presenter died at his home on Sunday after a long illness and surrounded by family, according to a statement issued to NBC's Today Show. Donahue, who created and hosted The Phil Donahue Show, was considered the king of daytime talk in the US. Over his career, Donahue interviewed well-known figures including Nelson Mandela, Muhammad Ali, Sammy Davis Jr., Sir Elton John, Whoopi Goldberg, Robin Williams, Dolly Parton, and Michael J. Fox. Donahue is considered a trailblazer in the daytime television landscape. His TV show was the first to include many elements familiar to viewers today, including participation from the studio audience. He hosted more than 6,000 editions of his talk show between 1967 and 1996. Born in Cleveland in 1935, Donahue began his media career in the late 1950s in talk radio and television, launching his eponymous talk show in 1967. In 1974, the show relocated from Ohio to Chicago and changed its name to simply Donahue. The show got into its groove soon after, once Donahue began involving the studio audience in discussions and the program more widely. Donahue married his second wife, actress Marlo Thomas, in 1980 after the two first met 3 years earlier when she was a guest on his talk show. For its last decade on air, the show was hosted from New York City. The final episode was broadcast in September 1996. Donahue was credited with changing the face of daytime television and challenging assumptions about what female audiences, in particular, wanted from talk shows. If there had been no Phil Donahue show, there would be no Oprah Winfrey show, Winfrey wrote in the September 2002 issue of O, the Oprah magazine. He was the first to acknowledge that women are interested in more than mascara tips and cake recipes, that we're intelligent, we're concerned about the world around us, and we want the best possible lives for ourselves. Honestly, more often to more issues about which women care than any other show. He won 20 Emmy Awards across his career, 10 of which were for Outstanding Host and 10 for the talk show itself. Earlier this year, he was awarded the Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian honor in the US, by President Joe Biden. Donahue is survived by Thomas and 4 children from his first marriage. Subscribe for more updates. US singer Chappelle Roan has called out the creepy behavior she's experienced in person and online as her star status continues to build. In 2 TikToks, she says she feels harassed and mentions her family being stalked. Subscribe for more updates. US singer Chappelle Roan has called out the creepy behavior she's experienced in person and online as her star status continues to build. In 2 TikToks, she says she feels harassed and mentions her family being stalked, bullied online, and being yelled at from car windows. Chappelle's debut album, The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess, reached #1 on the official chart earlier in August. Her pair of posts on the app have since been viewed almost 10 million times in total. I don't care that abuse and harassment is a normal thing to do to people who are famous or a little famous, she says in one of the videos. I don't care that it's normal. I don't care that this crazy type of behavior comes along with the job, the career field I've chosen. That does not make it okay. Chappelle is one of the year's most successful pop stars with Good Luck, Babe, becoming a breakout hit at home in the US and around the world. Established stars including Adele and Lady Gaga have fueled her popularity, with the former describing her as phenomenal and spectacular. It's weird how people think that you know a person just because you see them online and you listen to the art they make, she continues in her post. I'm allowed to say no to creepy behavior. Being a singer doesn't mean that I want it. It doesn't mean that I like it. I don't care if you think it's selfish of me to say no for a photo or for your time or for a hug. That's not normal, that's weird. In her caption, she said her post wasn't about a specific person or experience. This is just my side of the story and my feelings. Subscribe for more updates. Katie Price's TikTok income will be suspended as part of her ongoing bankruptcy dispute, a judge has ruled. The decision is part of efforts to pay off money the former glamour model owes under her 2 bankruptcies. A judge said on Monday that it was appropriate to order the suspension of further payments to Ms. Price from the social media company while bankruptcy proceedings continue. Ms. Price is due in court on 27 August over her finances and was told to attend no ifs or buts by a judge earlier this month. In February, it was ordered at a specialist bankruptcy court that Ms. Price must pay 40% of her monthly income from adult entertainment website OnlyFans until February 2027. Barristers for the trustee of her bankruptcies had previously asked for that order to be extended to cover TikTok, but the platform's lawyers said that while it did not oppose the move, it could not consent to it due to the mechanisms of how content creators are paid. On Monday, Insolvency and Companies Court Judge Catherine Burton said payments to Ms. Price from TikTok would be suspended until a solution could be found. Ms. Price was not in attendance at the remote hearing and was not represented. The 46-year-old was arrested at Heathrow Airport earlier this month after she failed to attend an earlier court date. Judge Burton ordered Ms. Price in February to pay the percentage of her OnlyFans income into a bank account chosen by the trustee. In July, the order was extended to cover 8 more companies from which Ms. Price gained income. At that hearing, barrister Dara Connell, representing the trustee, said there was a concern that the sums of income being paid to the bankrupt will simply not be paid to the trustee, and that 40% remained a reasonable sum to be paid by Ms. Price. On Monday, Mr. Connell said that while some progress has been made, investigations were ongoing as to how TikTok could comply with the order, and instead asked the court for a hold to be put on Ms. Price's 2 wallets, through which she has paid money from the platform. He added there was a real concern that there could be potentially substantial sums flowing to Ms. Price from TikTok, which the trustee would not be in a position to easily recover without the suspension. Lauren Creamer, representing TikTok, previously said written submission use by TikTok in its campaigns, which had now ended. She said that fee had been paid along with a sum of $9,989.92 and for much smaller payments ranging from $18.99 to $200 to Ms. Price from TikTok, which the trustee would not be in a position to easily recover without the suspension. Lauren Creamer, representing TikTok, previously said in written submissions that the platform had paid Ms. Price $84,000 for a 3-month agreement in which she would create e-commerce content for use by TikTok in its campaigns, which had now ended. She said that fee had been paid along with a sum of $9,989.92 and for much smaller payments ranging from $18.99 to $277.49, which it was believed represented commissions generated by third parties making purchases through the platform. On Monday, she told the court the company was endeavouring to comply with the order and that it was not attempting to be obstructive or difficult through the delay. Ms. Price was declared bankrupt in November 2019 and again in March this year. The second bankruptcy was over an unpaid tax bill of more than $750,000. Subscribe our channel for more updates. With just 3 months to go before the 2024 election, thousands of people are gathering in Chicago this week for the Democratic National Convention. It's a tradition dating back to the 1830s, when a group of Democratic delegates supporting President Andrew Jackson gathered in Baltimore to nominate him for a second term. This year will look slightly different from others, as the party has already officially nominated Vice President Kamala Harris in a virtual roll call after President Joe Biden dropped out of the race. But many of the other DNC traditions, including appearances from celebrities and memorable speeches from party leaders, will remain the same. Here's what to know. When and where is the DNC? This year's convention is taking place at the United Center Arena in Chicago. It started on Monday, 19th August, and will continue until Thursday, 22nd August. What happens at the DNC? Because Ms. Harris and Mr. Walz have already been nominated, this year's convention will focus on speeches from prominent Democrats and the adoption of the party's platform. Delegates work during the day to finalize the platform, a draft of which has already been released. It focuses on a broad range of issues, including plans to lower inflation, mitigate climate change, and tackle gun violence. In the draft, Democrats contrast each of the party positions with Project 2025, an ultra-conservative blueprint for what a second Trump administration could look like, authored by the Heritage Foundation. Trump has sought to distance himself from the project, though several of his allies were involved in writing it. Who will be speaking? Dozens of prominent Democrats and celebrities will be taking the stage in Chicago. On Tuesday, former President Barack Obama is expected to deliver remarks, as is former First Lady Michelle Obama. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker and Ms. Harris's husband, Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff, will also speak. Wednesday's lineup reportedly features former President Bill Clinton and former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, among others. Ms. Harris's running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, will give the primetime speech that night after his nomination. The most important night of the convention is Thursday, when Vice President Harris will take the stage. She will formally accept the presidential nomination and give her speech on the final night of the convention, dedicated for the future. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries will also take the stage at some point during the week. The convention has already heard from President Joe Biden, who was the headline speaker on Monday. He was introduced by his wife Jill and daughter Ashley. During an emotional defense of his presidency, he said, "America, I gave my best to you." 2016 presidential candidate Hillary Clinton offered her own tribute to Mr. Biden the same evening and voiced her hope that Kamala Harris could finally break the highest, hardest glass ceiling in the US by becoming the first female president. Others who spoke on Monday included progressive lawmaker Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Americans affected by abortion bans in Republican-controlled states, and voices from the labor movement, including United Auto Workers head Shawn Fain. Who else will be in attendance? Around 50,000 people are expected to attend this year's convention in Chicago. This includes thousands of delegates chosen by state Democratic parties, as well as superdelegates, who are major elected officials, notable members of the Democratic Party, and some members of the Democratic National Committee. Thousands of members of the media will also be in attendance. It will be a star-studded convention with appearances from several celebrities. In 2020, actors Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Eva Longoria attended the convention, while Elizabeth Banks and America Ferrera appeared in 2016. Rumors have swirled about whether megastars Beyoncé and Taylor Swift will attend this year, but neither has confirmed. Will there be protests? Demonstrations have been planned outside the DNC venue, many of them centered around opposition to U.S. support of Israel's war in Gaza. Thousands of marchers took to the streets for a mostly peaceful protest on Monday, calling for a ceasefire in Gaza and an end to U.S. support for Israel. It was attacked by a person wearing a hood. The attack happened on a field at the Angel Tardío Sports Center in Mocejón, near the city of Toledo, in central Spain, on Sunday morning. The suspect, reportedly described by the civil guard as a man wearing shorts and a white T-shirt, with dark hair and his face covered by a handkerchief, is said to have fled the scene in a grey Ford Mondeo. The attack happened at about 10 local time, 09:00 BST. Broadcaster RTVE said a government delegation had confirmed that the victim suffered 10 suspect, aided by an underwater unit and air surveillance. Mayors and councillors gathered at the entrance of Toledo's provincial palace at 12:00 11:00 BST on Monday for a minute's silence for Mateo and a 17-year-old girl shot dead on Saturday in nearby Otero. Acel Sanchez, a cousin of Mateo said to be acting as a spokesman for the family, told Spanish media they had no idea who was responsible. He was quoted as saying, "He was a super good boy, super affectionate. He was playing with his friends. Someone arrived. We have no further information. These are difficult times." Mochejon, with a population of about 5,000, has declared 3 days of official mourning. Emiliano Garcia Page, president of the Castilla-La Mancha region, expressed his support for law enforcement agencies involved in the search. In a post on X on Monday, he promised the full weight of the law will fall on the perpetrator, adding, "My thoughts are with Mateo's family, with his friends, and with the entire municipality." Concepcion Chedillo, mayor of Mosejon, told reporters on Sunday, "It is a sad day, with a town broken by pain, and if every murder is painful, how much more so the murder of an innocent child who was playing football with his friends this morning." Milagros Tolon, the Spanish government's representative in the Castilla-La Mancha region, posted on X, "It is with great sadness that I received the news of the murder of a minor in Nacmotejon, Toledo, after being attacked with a sharp object. The Civil Guard has deployed a wide-ranging operation to arrest the perpetrator. All my love to the family and friends of the deceased, as well as to the people of Mosejon." In pictures, blue supermoon glows red. A plane passed the supermoon over Parliament Hill. London Monday's full supermoon, also a blue moon, turned red in a dramatic way on Sunday night. The glowing sphere has been seen across the UK, but there is still a chance to catch a glimpse in the coming days. It was also captured rising in Northumberland on Sunday evening. Shades of orange and red could be seen in the skies above the UK. Red, not blue, full supermoon. Despite being called a blue moon, the moon doesn't actually turn blue, but it did turn red on Sunday night because of North American wildfire smoke sitting in the atmosphere above the UK. Smoke particles mean that light passing through the atmosphere is scattered in such a way that the orange and red colours of the spectrum are more visible than usual. The smoke also meant skies were hazy and had an orange tinge over the weekend, with an impressive sunset on Sunday night. Smoke particles will start to clear on Monday as cloud and rain moves in from the west. Why is it a blue moon? As the lunar cycle is 29.5 days, eventually this gets out of sync with our calendar, where you normally have one full moon a month. Blue moons are most commonly defined when we get an extra 13th full moon in the year. So the second full moon in a month becomes the blue moon. However, this blue moon comes from an alternative, more traditional definition when the lunar cycle results in any season, having 4, not 3 full moons. So where we'd normally have 3 full moons each season, if there are 4, the third full moon is then given the status of a blue moon. As blue moons are not that common, it's thought where the phrase "once in a blue moon" comes from. This full moon also happens to be a supermoon. A supermoon occurs when the full moon coincides with when the moon is at its closest point to Earth in its orbit, the perigee. It can appear brighter and larger in the night sky. This is the first of 4 supermoons this year. The full moons of September, October, the closest moon this year, and November will also be supermoons. Can I see the blue supermoon tonight? The full blue supermoon will become 100% full at 19:25 BST on Monday evening, but many us of may not actually get to see it. Moon rises at around 2050 BST in the roughly east sky and will then set on Tuesday morning at around 06:35 in the western sky. However, the weather forecast is not looking all that favourable, with cloud and patchy rain spreading eastward across the UK. There will be some limited times where the skies should clear at different stages of the night. While the blue supermoon won't technically be full on Tuesday night, it'll still be near full, and there'll be greater chance of clear skies.